You have probably noticed that there's a little word making the rounds everywhere you go and in your face, everything you do, and that is inflation. Today, the numbers came out for last month, and inflation is at its highest since 1982. So that, yeah, 8.5%, I believe is what it was. We haven't seen numbers like that in the lifetime of most of our audience. I remember them because I'm old, but I don't remember them really well. I do remember gas station lines and things like that. And hopefully, we're not headed for that. But there's a lot that's happening in the world, and it's impacting ourselves and our families and our friends and our colleagues, uh, and it affects real estate. So we want to talk a little bit about some ideas for how to combat inflation in your life. Hopefully, the severity of this is temporary, but there's a lot of prices that don't do a lot of coming down. So we can expect, I think, a little bit of pain for a while. And again, it's going to be some things that many people aren't used to. So famously, Jimmy Carter quoted my mother in I think 1978 and said, or 79, said, "Put a sweater on." So uh, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about today. Put a sweater on. Probably not really right now. Maybe
Not next week.
take the sweater off. Don't be walking around in your sweats and sweatshirt in your freezing air conditioned house, because you're going to want to turn that temperature up a couple of degrees, or open the windows on a cool day. And then next week it's going to get hot, and we want to talk about that. And we've got some gas saving tips for your car. Again, we get comfortable and sometimes don't think about the little things we can do to save a little bit of cash here and there.
So gas. So I did some research on this because, of course, that seems to be the topic of the day. That seems to be the one that everybody on a very regular basis, a couple times a week, seems to hit them in the gut the most. So there were some interesting things.
Sorry, 1 second. When you weigh in the comments, friends, we don't care who's to blame. We're just talking about what we can do about it. Okay. So keep that crap off of the.
Yes, please. Feed. This is not about politics. This is just situation. We're all in it together, right? The moment we bring it about politics, then we're against each other, but this is about being in it together. So one of the things that I found very interesting when I was looking into gas saving, vehicle gas savings, was the type of gas. So there's actually, so some, have, well, I wouldn't know, but premium and other, I just go with the regular all the time. But there are cars out there that the manufacturer says premium or ultimate or whatever the different ones are. But there actually was a study by AAA that says that for the most part, the extra costs do not, that for those type of gases do not offset any type of actual like performance. So you can still get the performance without necessarily paying for the premium. And I'm sure when prices go back, if you'd like to go do that again, that's fine. But it's recommended, but it doesn't mean, it's not like diesel to gas that if you start putting regular gas in your tank instead of the premium, suddenly your car is going to peter out and you're not going to be able to drive it. So look into that. But yeah, that was very interesting that there was actually, like I said, AAA, he did it. So I'm not just saying it.
And research it on your own. So don't tell us about how you ruined your Lambo and it's our fault.
Yeah. I'm getting it from somewhere else. And then I'm sure you've heard of this. I've been using it because my husband for years and years, but there are many gas apps out there. So there's things like Gasbuddy, where you can kind of look up local gas stations around you and see where the cheapest gas is. I always, there's about 2 or 3 spots around my house that we always hit up. It's usually the Woodman's in North Aurora, the Plano Walmart, and then, and then sometimes sporadically here and there, there'll be another place. So gas apps are really interesting. There is one that people talk about all the time that gives you money back. And that one I would be a little bit afraid of because that's what I was going to go. There's also cards out there, right? You can get like a BP card or some other credit cards out there or membership cards out there that gives you 4 cents off or 5 cents off or something like that. But I would still.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you mentioned some places in your neighborhood. In my neighborhood, it's farther from the highway. So if you're near a highway, always get away from that. And then Costco, if you remember, is typically the cheapest. Delta Sonic also has a membership. So besides the credit cards that Danielle's talking about, there's also memberships that you can get that will save you a few bucks on gas.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. So something like a membership for like a Sam's or a Costco, you often get cheaper, and it's just what it is. Obviously I would be weary, but you can get some, again, when you're getting like a BP or credit card, something like that. But in my experiences, the BPs around me are like 30, 40 cents more expensive sometimes for a gallon. So me saving the 15 cents that they're offering for putting it on my credit card doesn't necessarily.
We're doing the old jewelry store trick.
Yes. So you definitely, again, going back to that app, it'll help you make a better decision. But just because you're getting money back or money off doesn't necessarily mean it's the, Kohl's. Think of Kohl's when you go in there and they're like, it's like, nobody was going to pay $75 for this shirt that you're charging me $29 for. Yeah. So stop pretending. So, so just kind of be out there, be aware of what that is. And then, so then maintenance, right? Normal maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, filters, all done on a regular basis are going to make that car a better running machine. Tire pressure, check the tire pressure, especially now that we're going to be getting into the warmer months.
I was just going to say, and with the temperature, the way it's been going up and down, the air in your tires expands and contracts with the temperature. So you need to make sure that it's in the range that's optimal for that 20-degree swing we've been getting. Absolutely. Again, next week, it's supposed to be in the high 90s to mid 90s. So we're definitely your tires are going to expand a bit more. So just make sure that you're in that optimal range for your tires. And also think about accessories and other things on your car, around your car that might cause problems. Are you carrying a bunch of things that you meant to drop off at the donation center in your trunk? That's what I do, things like that. So the extra weight in the car, extra things on the car, if you have ski racks or, camping racks or things like that. Or all that stuff you keep in it in the winter. Yes. That you don't need in the summer, the bag of salt and the shovel and. Absolutely. Yeah. So getting those things off the car, out of the car, things like that you won't need for the next few months will help just literally lighten the load. Other things that I am very bad at is having a lead foot. I want to get where I'm going as fast as I can, but using cruise control is really helpful. I'll tell you what, I went over by you the other day off of 88, and I was driving on 88, and my car's always giving me how much gas, that I can get on the tank, and it made all the difference when I just was steady. It's a huge difference between the speed limit and considerably over the speed limit. It's really a big difference in gas savings. Absolutely. And by the way, not that big of a difference in time savings. No, not really, especially when you're in and out of people and then you stop and you're like, if I was way back here just chugging along, would I have gotten stuck in this? I don't know. So yeah, slow and steady, right? We learned that in Aesop's fables a long, long time ago. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing is idling. I watched somebody idle for about 10 minutes today while they were waiting for somebody to come out. That takes enough time. I was stuck in a drive-through the other day and almost immediately regretted it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here too long. So if you're going to get your, morning coffee or whatever, consider going inside and picking it up instead of sitting for a long time in that line of 15. Or if you're looking to save a few bucks, consider making it at home. That too. Go inside, get your bag. There's so many ways you can save money by making your coffee at home. You're not in the drive-through and you're making your coffee at home. Yes, absolutely. So that, both of those would help, I guess, if we're talking about that. But sometimes, baby steps for everybody. So these are about baby steps. And because I know people don't like to go cold turkey on anything, as far as, sometimes they'd rather complain about actually trying to do something, but we're hoping to help you
see that you could do small things here and there, and hopefully in the long term.
And on that subject, this sometimes is a little thing, but if you get something every day, it really will add up. Get the appropriate size coffee. Sometimes we're lured by the marketing technique of you can get, 5 ounces for $2 and you can get a gallon for $2.50. If you're throwing it out or you wouldn't get that anyway, save the 50 cents. It's a real savings if that's, how much you want. The same thing happens sometimes at Costco or Sam's Club, where you're looking at how much you're going to save if you buy the gargantuan. If it's an item that expires or one that you're not sure your kids are going to like, or one of those things, don't get lured in by that savings. I'll sometimes say to Tim, guess how much I saved today?
while you actually spent 4 times as much as you would have had you just gotten the 1 jar or the 2 jars of pasta sauce instead of the
17.
Yes.
So, all right. Any other tips?
For the gas, no, but I figured that was a good start for that.
Yeah.
And a Gasbuddy is a good one. There, like I said, I'm trying to remember the one that gives you money back. But again, I'd be weary because those type of apps have partnerships a lot of the times. And again, it's the places that you just use to, kind of go, oh, okay, across the street is this much. I'm saving this much, but I'm really
it's like the ones where if you spend $5 for a car wash, you'll save a nickel on gas. So
yeah, right.
Unless you're getting 100 gallons, it doesn't really. One, this isn't a great happy message, but we want to say while we're on the subject, if inflation is really pinching your budget and you're concerned about your future ability to pay your mortgage and stay where you are, please call us sooner rather than later, because we understand that many people are in a position where their ability to earn is very finite. They have, a lifestyle that won't allow them to maybe take a second job, or maybe a second job doesn't pay as much as it'll cost to get there with gas prices these days or whatever.
And childcare and all that other stuff.
Yeah. And if you are, every month living paycheck to paycheck and barely paying your current liabilities, saving a little bit on gas here and there and turning the ceiling fan on instead of the air conditioner isn't going to save you. So look closely at that and let us help you get ahead of it. Don't wait until things are in a crisis. We have great solutions and great answers for you right now.
All right. Are we doing this next week? Is that you have training?
I am.
No, you're not leaving until Saturday or something.
Yes. Yeah. So we're still here next week, and we'll see you then.
All right. Take care. Have a great week.